Good morning. Today we are going to learn another Muslim group which is the Kagan or the Kalagan. And this group will include introduction, dialect, culture, religious beliefs, livelihood, and art of the Kagan people. To start with, Kagan came from the root word kaag, which means to warn. The story behind this is that during the Spanish invasion, Kagan male member of Davao Oriental ran towards their village when they saw Spaniards invading their neighbor villages, giving warning to their community. And that became the story of the meaning of the word Kagan or Kaag, which means to warn. They have converted to Islam either through intermarriage or close contact with other neighboring groups, particularly the Maguindanao. That is why their lifestyle and culture are somewhat similar to that of the Maguindanaoan, showing their influence to the Kagan group. The Kagan live on the island of Mindanao, as we all know, in the first report of the 11 ethnic groups that it is found in the Davao region. They are located in the area between the interior uplands and the western coast of Davao both. And it is said that they belong to Mandaya or Mansako group and under the Tagacaulo branch. They are found in the Sarawan Davao City, Tagum Davao del Norte, Mati Davao Oriental, and some areas of Davao del Sur. The primary religion they practice is Sunni Islam, which is the largest branch of Islam. Sunni Muslims follow the teaching of Quran and consider the first four caliphs to be the rightful successors of Muhammad. Next to their dialect, their native language is called Kinagan. And as we all know, they are influenced by other groups, and even their dialect is also influenced by them. So it is similar to that of the Tagacaulo language, and there are some Bahasa Sugut words that is found in Kagan language, which is from the Tausug, and of course, the influence of Maguindanaoan words to that. So that is why they are also known as multilingual people, since they can speak 3 or more languages used in communicating to their neighboring tribes. To their culture, I have here social structure and their marriage. The Kalagan social structure is unusual because it is modified by a system of social rank, certain rules of descent, and distinctive patterns of marriage. Their social rank is generally less important than blood ties, so blood ties are much more heavier for them. This means that family connections hold greater weight than one's position in the social hierarchy. In their descents, higher-ranking families maintain elaborate genealogies to prove their descents. So the families with long and distinguished histories hold higher position. Their position in social rank was often based on combination of lineage, strength, and demonstrated leadership qualities. So as we can all see, their family or the blood ties for them is very important, that it even affect their social rank. Kalagan marriages are usually monogamous or they only have one spouse, but polygyny is also permitted, and it is practiced only by those of higher rank and wealth. And there is a strong preference for marriage between related families, especially to their second cousins. This practice helps maintain close family ties and potentially consolidate resources or status within the community. After marriage, the couple usually live in the husband's community, although today, in this generation, young couples may form their own independent households. During their kagun, or what we call engagement, there is this 3 Kalagan terms for the bride price, which I will not try to read since I may not pronounce it correctly. But it is flashed on the screen. The first term means to ask for a cup or bowl. The second term is to ask for a dagmay or a tubular skirt, a tube skirt, which is a traditional garment made of hand-woven or what they call diabuan, and it is multicolored cloth used by Kagan women, and it is also used during the wedding by the bride as a shawl. The third term means to ask for livestock or money. The bride price is not only beneficial to the girl's family, but relatives can also ask for specific things. The actual marriage rite or kawin consists of the imams reciting of some verses from the Quran. This is called pagbatsa ng hutpatunika, the reciting of the appropriate verses for a wedding. The recitation mentions the five pillars of Islam, like worshiping God, praying 5 times a day, giving alms, fasting 1 month a year, and if financially possible, going on pilgrimage. Another information about their wedding, it usually takes 2 days. The first day is when the family and relatives of the man arrive on the afternoon and they celebrate in the evening. The next day, that is when the wedding ceremony takes place around 10 to 11 in the morning.
Good day, everyone. Now, for the continuation of our discussion to the Kalagan people, let's now proceed to their religious beliefs. Now, the Kalagan people were one of the groups that were really influenced by the Muslim missionaries in 1500s. Now, we all know that during this time, during this century, that the spread of Islam, specifically here in the Philippines, were really significant. There are a lot of groups were really affected and influenced to it. That's why about half of the Kalagan converted to Islam during this time. However, there's still few of the Kalagan who still remain to their traditional belief, which is being an animists or animism. Now, the belief of animism is that the natural elements that we have, like the trees, the rivers, the mountains, they believe that those natural elements has supernatural beings living to it. Like for example, the trees, they would believe that trees have mga diwata, mga kapre, mga duwende. So those are some kind of examples of the belief of animism. Now, aside from Islam, animism, they also believe to magic, sorcery, and supernatural being, as what I have said. An example for this is traditional hilot, usog, and barang. So, those kind of stuff kay maupod na ang ginabelieve sa mga Kalagan people as part of their traditional belief. Now, aside from the influence of the Muslim missionaries, since very spread significantly jud ang Islam during the century, now there are still some other reason why Kalagan group were really influenced by the religion Islam. And one of it is the Tausug migration and political influence. Why? Because as what we have discussed in our first discussion in this subject, which is the different ethnic communities, that the arrival of Tausug group have really influenced a lot of ethnic communities, and one of it are the Kalagan people. Now, because of the belief of the Tausug, which is Islam, na-influence po nila ang mga Kalagan. And aside from the Tausug people, Kalagan also have a cultural contact with the Magindanaon communities. And Maguindanao is also considered as a Muslim place or Muslim group. And aside from the Tausug, so they were also influenced by the Maguindanao. So aside from the influence of those two groups, they were also influenced by intermarriage or marriage with Maguindanao and Tausug people, and even other groups na Muslim. So of course, if your partner is a Muslim, so there's a big possibility that you will also be influenced by their beliefs. Now that we are talking with Islam, no, we are going to discuss as well some of the Islamic practices that were also practiced by the Kalagan people, and one of it is prayer, or what they call as sala, wherein Muslims are known for praying at least 5 times a day. And aside from praying, they also have fasting, especially during Ramadan. And they have also their own celebration, just like Eid al-Fitr and many more. And they also have these terms, imams and paditas, which refers to the educators or the one who teach Quran. Now, that ends the religious beliefs of the Kagan people. Now, let's proceed to their way of life, or way of surviving, or their livelihood in other term. Now, one of the main livelihood of the Kalagan people is agriculture. So, they are known to grow a lot of different crops, and it includes wet rice in lowland areas. They also grow a lot of dry rice and corn in mountain areas. And aside from this, they also grew a lot of root crops. They have yams, sweet potatoes, and cassavas, vegetables and fruits as well, like tomatoes, squash, beans, bananas, mangoes. And one of their widely cultivated na crop are coconuts. Now, what about those Kagan people na naglive beside or near coastal areas? Now, their livelihood as well is of course fishing. So there are a lot of fishermen, no, Kagan fishermen who are living in coastal areas, no, and their way of fishing is through traditional method, which is the use of nets and crops. So as you can see in the picture, na ay men yung naghold og net and also something in his back. So you might wonder what is that thing on his back. So basically that is a trap used to catch fish. And aside from that, their way of farming is slash and burn farming, or what we call as kaingin. Now, kaingin, it is a farming method wherein they're going to clear the agriculture, or they're going to clear the land for them to plant crops like maize, which are harvested at least twice or thrice a year. So in order to do this kind of farming, they're going to burn the trees, or they're going to cut the trees. So basically, based on the picture, it is already shown them how they do kaingin. So as you can see, na smoke. So basically nagburn sila og trees. So that is the livelihood of the Kalagan people. Next is the arts of the Kalagan people. So they are known for being very artistic, for weaving, basket making. Women, usually mga Kalagan women create this kind of art, no? And they use it for their personal use and trade. And since Muslim people are known for being business-minded, so they sell this kind of products as well. So they uses a lot of materials, bamboo, rattan, palm fibers, and even wood and bamboo crafts for making furnitures like chairs, tables, and any other tools. And aside from those kind of tools or furnitures, they are also good at creating jewelry or accessories. As you can see in the picture presented, you can observe that there are women wearing a lot of accessories on her head, on her body, on her neck, no, even the clothing, very very artistic, very colorful, and it is usually worn during festivals and for ceremonies. The next slides, I'm going to show to you the different kinds of accessories that they create. We have here the necklace, bracelet, a comb, not just an ordinary comb, but a decorative comb, a tikos or leglets. No, as you can observe, it is worn below the knee. So as you can observe, na ay mga men standing there in the picture, and if you will look closely, tanan sila nagwear og tikos or leglets. Now, aside from the arts and crafts, no? Kagan people are very known for being very good at instruments or dance and music, traditional dance and music. And you might already seen them in Kadayawan parades, no? Though you didn't recognize them as Kagan people, but Kagan people plays mga kulintang, gongs, drums, and they really dances gracefully, and it really reflects their cultural identity.
To summarize the first part, the Kagan group lives in the Davao region and became Muslims through intermarriage and close contact with other groups. Their language has words from other groups like Tagakaulo, Tausug, and Maguindanao. The Kalagan's social structure emphasizes the importance of family and blood ties while also acknowledging a system of social rank that influence marriage choices and residence patterns. They preserve their culture through the celebration of wedding and Thanksgiving.
All in all, the Kalagan people have a very rich culture, blends with their old traditions with their new beliefs. Some follow Islam, while others still believe in spirit-like animism. They mostly farm and fish to provide for their families. Their arts like weaving, basket making, and colorful clothing reflects their creativity and identity as a Kalagan community. Through their dances as well and music, they celebrate their heritage and keep their traditions alive. Therefore, the Kalagan people's way of life teaches us how to value faith, culture, and adapting to change while staying true to who we are.